Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday night, and that means another episode of Theater and Tech Trends Live. And this show is going to be killer because today I've got the Paragons of Home Cinema with me. And the ringleader of the Paragons are Jim, the president and founder of Lumagen. And the topic today is going to be Sound Room 11, which, if you don't know, is going to be a collection of amazing brands in a sound room at Cedia. Now, I don't have to tell you about it because we have a collection of luminaries from across the home theater industry, lots of folks. But first, to get started, I want you to introduce Jim from Lumagen. He's the president and founder, and he's kind of the ringleader of this whole kind of motley crew. And Jim's connection is a little rough tonight, but Jim, maybe to get started, you could tell people a little bit about who you are and, you know, who Lumagen is and kind of what is going on with this room and what's the idea of Sound Room 11.
The idea we had is the opportunity came available to us when we were very excited when that became a. Let me do apologize. I'm sitting in Skagway on a boat and my internet is spotty, but we had the opportunity to get Sound Room 11, and then we were out looking for who would be good to partner with, who would be really excited about this opportunity. And we wanted to show an event that was the optimal. The Paragons is basically the perfect example of quality. And so that's what we were looking for. The best in video, the best in audio that we could do at a price point that was within reason. Our total cost of our products, we've ended up about $174,000, which is not inexpensive, but it is a price point that we can actually. So a home theater that is optimal. So what we wanted to do is we've got the Seymour-Screen Excellence, projector, Trinnov, speaker power, speaker.
All right, Jim, you're getting a little too spotty. So I'm gonna jump in for you here. And I think what you were saying is you've got a great group of folks: Seymour-Screen Excellence, Digital Projection, Trinnov, NextLevel Acoustics, Speaker Power, and Valencia that have joined you in this effort. And I think what we'll do now, maybe we'll wait a little bit and see if your connection comes back. But I'm going to bring in all of the different players here and let them take a moment to introduce themselves and kind of tell the folks what they're bringing kind of to the plate to this collection. And first up, the one, the only Chuck Back of Trinnov. That's right. That Trinnov, not the other one, but this one. Chuck, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very happy to be here.
Oh man, glad to have you. Maybe 30 seconds about, you know, who you are and you know, what Trinnov is and, you know, what your contribution to this group is.
Well, we are Trinnov Audio. I'm one of the co-managing directors of the company here in the U.S. Our processors are manufactured in France. We're going to have an Altitude 32 as the heart of the system here. It's going to be providing the decoding and the speaker and room correction, our optimizer technology. And that is really the main part of our business is sound processing and the most advanced audio processing systems in the world. And awesome. We're very happy to be part of this, working with all these other manufacturers to give a really high performance cinema that doesn't cost $1 million.
Yeah. And I think that's really the key, right? Because there will be other rooms there that are $1 million plus, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But, you know, sometimes, you know, it's kind of like the spectacle and not the reality for folks, if that makes sense. So this is pretty cool. And we'll talk more about Trinnov here in a few minutes, but I just want to get everybody else in first. Next up, we're going to have a twofer. The Lee and the Rob from NextLevel Acoustics. They felt like one person wasn't quite enough to talk about their product portfolio, so they brought in two people. So maybe we'll start with, I guess we'll have to start with Lee because he calls himself the owner and Rob calls himself the co-owner, so I don't know.
Rob, it's about time everybody understood.
So who are you? What do you do? What are you guys contributing to the group here?
Hey guys, so I'm Lee Weber, co-owner with Rob. We're pretty excited for this opportunity to work with Jim, Chuck, all the guys, Chris, Seymour. We're really excited. We have a great system that Rob actually has worked really hard on designing. Rob, tell them about what we're putting in.
Yeah, so this is our new cinema series.
So don't go too deep, Rob. You're going to have the deep dive here in just a few minutes. High level.
Okay. So what we're showing is a 9.4.6 system. It's basically amazingness in a compact form factor. I mean, that's really how I can describe it.
Right on. Cool. And so for those out there that might not be initiated into home theater, it's the speakers.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. I'm with you.
You know why I passed it off to you, Rob? I always get confused with the .4.6. I was going to do a 9.6.4, and I knew I was wrong.
Right on. Now we're going to flip things around and go from the audio to the video. And Chris, you're up.
Hey there. Hi. Chris Seymour, co-founder of, see, I said that co-part.
Oh, he got it right.
So co-founder.
NextLevel Acoustics.
Seymour, yeah, and NextLevel Acoustics, not yet. So co-founder of Seymour-Screen Excellence. And what excited me about this room when Jim put this together was, I think, and you're going to hear this throughout the show, value. I think it's that part in that, let me see if I can do my chart right to the camera, but it's that part of the curve where the price doesn't go up exponentially, but you're hitting all of the soul and the performance, and this room's going to have that magic and surprise you relatively what it's going to perform at for the cost of entry, and that Midwest me, like that excites me about as much as the price no object rooms. Those are exciting as heck, but Midwest me always gets excited at something that is more human scale.
Yeah, no, and that's great. And I do want to just call out. So Jim didn't get to go through and talk about himself, and we'll hopefully we'll be able to do that in a minute. But another core component of this entire endeavor is the Lumagen video processor, right? And man, these things, these Lumagens, you have to see them to really appreciate it, right? We can talk about it, but the magic that they bring to the video is outstanding, right? And they complement all the different pieces of a theater. And hopefully the bandwidth is going to work out for us here in just a minute for Jim to dive a little more deeply into that. But before then, I have often said that the most important piece of any theater is the seating, because if you can't stand to be in the room that long, then everything else doesn't matter. And the theater seating representative is none other than Lucas from Valencia, that one. Lucas, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here with everyone else as well.
Right on. So high level, a little bit about who you are and what you guys are contributing, which I would assume would be seats, to this endeavor.
For sure. My name's Lucas. I'm one of the head sales managers here with Valencia Home Theater Seating. Valencia Theater Seating is one of North America's premier home theater seating brands and luxury lifestyle furniture providers. We've been in the industry for more than 10 years, and we're widely known for having some of the best handcrafted leather home cinema series and high-end theater seatings in the market. With the fact that we do specialize in Italian leathers, we take pride in offering handcrafted quality items at a very inexpensive price range so that everybody can enjoy having an amazing home theater cinema experience in their home. And just like as Jill's had said there, that one of the biggest, most important things is actually the theater seating. There's always an old statement that I like to say, you could go out, you could spend $1 million on a car. It could have, an 1,800 horsepower motor, a $100,000 paint job. But if you get in the thing and you can't drive it for longer than 30 minutes, why'd you spend $1 million on a car? So I completely wholeheartedly agree with you, Jills, that, the theater seating is one of the most important aspects in a home theater.
Right on. And here's some shameless self-promotion. So for folks that want to know more, I just did a review of those Valencia seats, which are completely different than what will be at that Cedia, but a really cool, what I call audiophile seat, right? Because you get, there's no headrest back there to kind of block the sound. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. Hold on. yeah. So Jim, I want to try and see how things are going for you right now. Can you unmute and then see if you can talk a little bit more about the Lumagen stuff? Yep, I don't think it's going to work out. So
I will try. Am I coming through?
You're kind of coming through now. Yeah, no, I don't think so, Jim. I think we're going to have to
Okay,
to
well,
pass them.
I can try, but what we're showing. Okay, I'll just keep quiet. Go ahead.
Right on. Now I am going to bring on a surprise guest here who has joined, and he is going to talk a little bit about the high level of the theater. And this is one of Jim's companions in kind of herding the cats, Paul. Welcome. And Paul doesn't represent any brand, but he knows everyone and pretty much tells us all what to do. So Paul, maybe a few minutes about Lumagen and a few minutes about the room before we deep dive into all the other products.
Sure. Hi, everybody. How's
Welcome.
everybody doing?
We're great.
Paul knows a guy that knows a guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to open up my notes here.
Right on. So while he's doing that, for folks that don't know, Paul runs Mudo Communications, and this is a PR marketing company that I guess full service. You guys do pretty much everything as far as I can tell, and they represent a number of different brands in the CI world, and he has helped Jim put together this room and collect all of these brands to bring this wonderful sound room to all of us that'll be at Cedia.
Guess you could say, in a way, I'm one of the godfathers of this sound room.
Yes. If you need fresh mozzarella, he's got a guy.
Well, that's a whole nother story. Jim is on a cruise to Alaska, and we were lucky enough to get him to join us tonight, but his signal is not so great. So let me give you a little bit of the background on what we're doing in Sound Room 11. So the cinema marquee that appears over the Sound Room 11 demo at the Cedia Expo reads the Paragons of Home Cinema: Power, Precision, and Perfection, a 9.4.6 Dolby ATMOS demo. All right. And so you've got the partners here on this podcast, which is, of course, Jim and Lumagen are taking the lead sponsorship in the room. And his heavy hitters here in this demo are Seymour-Screen Excellence, Digital Projection, NextLevel Acoustics, Trinnov, SpeakerPOWER, and Valencia Theater Seating. And I think Jim was cut off a little bit earlier. I think he was trying to make the point that, the total MSRP for the audio and video gear in this room is about $174,000. And what Jim and the partners are setting out to do here is to really demonstrate just how phenomenal a home cinema experience can be in this price range, right? I mean, let's face it, $174,000 is not a price range that everybody can afford. Many will aspire for that. In the scheme of things, though, this system, the goal here is that the performance, the demo that these partners are going to give, that the Paragons of Home Cinema are going to present at Cedia Expo next month, is really going to demonstrate truly how phenomenal a system can be achieved in this price range. I mean, everybody here in this demo are real sharp. They've got tremendous products. All the folks here involved in this demo have got tremendous acumen in their respective categories. And so I'm going to start out by saying that Lumagen is going to demonstrate their Radiance Pro 5244 video processor. Now, this has been around for quite some time, and important for Jim is to stress that that Lumagen really is unrivaled in its video scaling, along with their HDR dynamic tone mapping, very precise lip control, very low latency game mode quality, and overall, Jim and Lumagen claim the world's best in-motion video processing, and Lumagen's tagline for years has been hear and see what the director intended, and really that's what the goal of Lumagen is here. So their product, the Radiance Pro 5244, has got an MSRP of $87.45. Jim, I don't know if you're coming in, but is there anything
he dropped off completely at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So Lumagen and Seymour-Screen Excellence have been playing very well for years. The Lumagen video processors actually in recent years have been auto masking the Seymour Excellence motorized masking systems. And we're going to demonstrate for the first time, Seymour-Screen Excellence will demonstrate for the first time its trim motorized masking system, which is the industry's least expensive motorized film screen masking system. And for the first time, we'll be showing that with the company's Radiant White solid film screen surface, because as you know, Seymour-Screen Excellence is really known for its acoustically transparent film screen materials. Well, Seymour is going to flex its muscles with its Radiant White and the trim. And I guess this is a good opportunity for me to throw this to Chris Seymour to talk a little bit more about the trim and the demo in Sound Room 11.
Well, before we do that, I want to give Rigo some love because he's been very patient waiting for his spot to introduce himself. And without power, you have nothing. And we have the ultimate in power. It's speaker power. Rigo, a little bit quickly about who you are and who Speaker Power is for folks that don't know.
So my name is Rigo. I'm with Speaker Power, General Manager at Speaker Power. I am also the designer of these new amplifiers we will be showcasing, which is 8-channel and a dedicated 4-channel sub for the waveforming. So basically, we're known for our subwoofer amplifiers. We can't be touched in terms of power output, sustainability, and the performance of it. So we decided to venture into full range amplification for the masses, so people can buy a high quality amplifier with global support, excellent build quality, and of course to keep with the theme of the sound room at an affordable price. So we compete with amplifiers 5-10 times the price. So
that's awesome. And for folks that kind of follow along on my channel, I'm doing a subwoofer build now, and I'll be using one of your 4000 series plate amps to power a 24-inch driver. So I'm pretty excited for that project, and it'll be my first foray with one of your pieces of gear. So really, really cool stuff. All right, Rigo, we will dig in a little bit deeper in a few minutes, but Chris, back to you. Before you get started, I want to tell everyone out there, if they haven't played with a trim yet, it is a wonderful screen. And you guys, you have them both in, side masking, vertical masking, and then 4-way masking as well, right? What are you going to have for us to see here?
Well, so for this one is a trim screen like you have, Giles. And this one's not going to be doing this. It's going to be doing...
Is that horizontal masking?
That's the this. Constant height.
This.
It's going to be doing the this.
Right on.
Constant width. And we brought this because this is the industry's least expensive, as Paul mentioned, the industry's least expensive masking screens. People have always been scared off of masking screens because they start costing new car prices. And we came in at something that's about half that price. But we didn't compromise the product. We just did things smarter and more integrated and smaller, and we could ship it in cardboard boxes instead of giant crates, real cost savings things. So they're still handmade in Iowa, custom to your application. So that's important for something that's highly specified, I guess. It's not something that we just pull off of the shelf. You want something custom made. You want that person who's making it to be within throwable distance of me on the phone. I can toss something at them and say, "Where's Giles's trim screen? How's it going?" So we're showing this screen with two features that we don't normally show out. One is, as Paul mentioned, it's our reference white, solid, non-acoustically transparent screen material, radiant white. And then we're bringing a new feature that we're showing we have actually fabric velvet masks, which have been a very historically difficult thing to do.
Oh, that's really cool.
Some people, if you're not using it for like, we're not putting speakers behind it in this case, because we want to see all of those next level acoustics. We want to see. We don't want to hide those. They're
Heck no.
too pretty. So in this case, the screen doesn't need to be acoustically transparent. So the masks really don't need to be either. Now, traditionally, I think in your screen, Giles, we used a thin mesh.
Correct.
It's still acoustically transparent, but it works well. It's what we're used to. But we've had requests for kind of a darker, don't give me that two-tone look. And so this is a fabric pile velvet that is within about 0.2% as dark as our frame. So we've matched it very, very closely. So
that's really cool, because I think that is at this point kind of the brass ring, for that kind of aesthetic, and being able to match the material that you'll see on the top and bottom to the frame will give you that nice seamless kind of look, right? I mean, when the lights are out, even the older version that I have, is indistinguishable. But I mean, that's just the next little extra touch. Do you happen to know what's going to be shooting onto your screen? I know it's a digital projection unit of some kind. Do you happen to know what the model is, or maybe Paul, what that is?
I certainly do. It's called the eVision 10,000i 4K plus RGB projector. And this is going to be quite a video experience. George Walter up at Digital Projection, who's our sales VP, was telling me that this projector offers, he says it offers the ultimate color and video performance. So apparently they're using the latest DLP chip from Texas Instruments. They call it the HEP. .8 DMD. So it's a high efficiency pixel chip that brings several upgraded features like higher contrast, better fill factor, and improved grayscale. So George was telling us that Digital Projection has combined this new chip with pure RGB laser illumination, and the end result of that is a really spectacular color, an REC 2020 performance without any of the color wheel artifacts that are inherent to single chip DLP.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chris Seymour would probably be best poised here to, speak more to that and how key that is, with the Seymour Screen Excellence Radiant screen.
I'm super excited to see it, Paul. I think the retail on this was at 26.
Yeah, about 27.
27. Okay. So I mean, it's not inexpensive, but 10,000 lumen triple laser, new DLP and no color wheels. Like I cannot wait to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And so the triple threat that we've got going on for video is the Lumagen, the digital projection projector, and then the Seymour-Screen Excellence screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great technologies at a very good price point. And I feel confident that it'll be a really, really awesome video experience. Now, as we all know, video is only one half of any theater, right? You've got the audio piece. And then, so I want to start kind of at the core and work out. So Chuck, I'm going to tap you to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing with your Altitude 32 here, right? So what is that going to look like from a setup perspective potentially? And then for folks that don't know, maybe you can talk a little bit about your DSP capabilities and how you're going to be able to make this room sound as the best that it possibly can.
Great. We're going to be using the Altitude 32. It'll be the audio processor. The Altitude 32 is one of two models. We have an Altitude 16, which is a lower priced version. The Altitude 32 is more the flagship. This particular unit will be 24 channels, which will easily handle the 9.1.6 with 4 subwoofers that we're going to be doing. It's going to be using our proprietary technologies, most particularly the optimizer and the waveforming. The optimizer is a time-based room correction system. It uses our unique 4-element microphone.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool looking. Measures in 3-dimensional space. So when we take a calibration, we're actually locating the speakers in the room. We know the distance to a very precise 1 or 2 centimeters, to the elevation and azimuth to within 1 or 2 degrees. And that enables us to use another proprietary technology called remapping, which we won't be using necessarily in this room because the speaker is going to be in the right location, but it's a technology that will compensate for less than optimal speaker placement when you're not able to put a speaker where you want to because there's a door or a window or a beam in the ceiling. And that uses the principle of stereo imaging to place the sound in the right location.
Right on.
And getting back to what we're doing in the room, the optimizer is going to be providing the tuning and the phase and impulse response correction for the room.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way that we are able to very precisely not only tune the response of the room to the amplitude response that we want, but we can align all of the speakers so they're working in unison. And what that means is listeners are going to hear all the frequencies from all the speakers arriving at their ears at the same time. And that is the major difference that you get with the optimizer. It's one thing to have a lot of speakers in a room with sound coming from different directions, but if we can get that precise alignment of the multiple speakers located in different areas in the room and at different angles to the listeners, we're able to create a seamless bubble of sound. The speakers as sources disappear, and you just hear sound as you naturally hear it in the real world.
That's awesome. Now, did I hear correctly that you'll be doing a 4 subwoofer waveforming configuration in the room?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about that, because I know in the past you had to have 48 subwoofers to do waveform.
Not quite, but it seems that way sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Waveforming is our new unique technology. It was developed over about 8 years going on. We're still researching it. There are going to be improvements and enhancements over time, like we're doing with all of our technologies. It is a way of resolving a problem that has always existed in rooms, and that is we have standing waves. And standing waves mean that certain frequencies are going to build up and certain frequencies are going to be canceled depending on where the subwoofers are placed and where the listeners are sitting. There have been multiple techniques used over the years to try to address the issue, and basically they can resolve a lot of the problems, but they're taking more of a Band-Aid approach by kind of pushing all of the elements, as you might do with, for example, subs in 4 corners. The idea is to try to get one subwoofer to make up for the deficiencies of another subwoofer. And what waveforming does that hasn't been done before is it resolves the issue. It doesn't treat the symptom, it resolves the disease. So we prevent the standing waves from being created in the first place.
Now, is it doing like a throw catch kind of thing, like front of the room to the rear of the room, or is it canceling out with some kind of calculations in the audio, or at a very high level? Yeah. I mean, what's the magic? How does that even do?
What we're doing is there are subwoofers that go against the front wall, ideally in the front wall. They can be elevated. If you're doing multiple subwoofers and you're building a room from scratch, you can put them in the walls. If you have a more ordinary system, you can have 2 subwoofers on the floor in the front and 2 in the back. That's the minimum. The entry level is 4 subs. So with that, the front subs are going to be used effectively as an array, and that's going to steer sound using our algorithm away from the walls and from the floor and the ceiling. So we're directing the energy toward the seats. You don't get the buildup of standing waves then side to side and top to bottom. When that wave travels through the room and reaches the back wall, the rear subs act primarily as absorbers to prevent that front to back standing wave. And all of that is in the algorithm that uses the multiple measurements that we take around the listening area. And the result is you have much more energy at the seats, you have more impact. The decay decay times for low frequencies drop enormously, which cleans up the whole spectrum. And the seat-to-seat variation in a multi-seat theater gets very, very close. We can get with a proper installation, we can get it down to plus or minus 2 dB across all seats in a large theater. Wow. That meets the RP22 Cedia standard for just 2 seats.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So it's really gonna show off the next level subwoofers with waveforming.
Right on. So I want to get to the speakers, and I think we'll need to talk about the amplification kind of at the same time as the speakers. But before we get there, since you talked about good, consistent seat-to-seat performance, let's talk about the seats. And we got Lucas. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are going to be showing as far as seating and what people will be able to sit down in and recline in and experience in this theater. So what's going to be there for the folks?
So we've actually got some of our best models and our best sellers actually at Cedia this year. So in the front row in SR11 room, we are actually going to have our Barcelona Ultimate in Onyx. And in the rear row, we're going to actually have our Premier Series Tuscanys on risers.
Oh, nice.
To kind of showcase each model, the Barcelona is coming in with a low profile back that's great for unblocked viewing, especially from a front row aspect, and as well as it's great for audiophile listening. One of the biggest things as well is it actually uses a Napa 20,000 leather, which is a semi-aniline Napa leather. It is smoother than a baby's bottom. It is an absolute gorgeous, soft, amazing leather. One of the biggest features about that also as well as you're going to have one touch memory, full adjustable RGB lighting. So you have 7 or 8 different colors plus a strobe setting. It's 0 wall clearance. You also have the standard headrest, lumbar, full power recline. And as well as you also have all the black chrome accessory ports, cup holders, and control finish. And then when you kind of then move up to the back row, again, also 0 wall clearance, standard headrest, lumbar, full power recline. This particular series does use Napa 11,000 leather, and it also has our kind of what I like to call our standard double-cladded French diamond stitch. So it's a single stitch throughout the chair just to kind of help pronounce and make it a little bit make it pop a little bit more, if you wanted to say. And then what we actually have outside of the room is one of our newest additions to the Valencia family, and that's actually our Tuscany Ultimate Heat and Ventilation. This one's going to also have a lot of the same features as the Barcelona when it comes to the Napa 20,000 leather, headrest, lumbar, full power recline. One of the biggest things as well as with this one is the heat and ventilation. You have 3 different levels of heat, 3 different levels of cool. Great for, hot summer nights or cold winter days when you just kind of want to sit back in the chair, get a little bit extra warmed up or get a little bit cooled off. And then as well as outside, we're also going to have our Oslo Ultimate Luxury. Same concept with the one-touch memory, full adjustable RGB lighting, headrest, lumbar, full power recline. The Ultimate Series in the Tuscany and the Oslo actually also have a double-cladded French diamond centered with a perforated center to help keep with airflow, to keep overall just, a cooler overall temperature in the chair. I myself am a larger gentleman, so I run quite hot in chairs, especially after sitting them for 2-3 hours. So, coming from being a larger gentleman, I can speak on how good the actual cooling feature is. Sometimes you actually got to almost get a blanket in and it cools you off too much.
Nice. I'm really excited for that. And, I want to see and experience the seats inside of the theater, but that the set that you're going to have outside, that I really want to see. And I want to feel that heat and that cool, because I know we always struggle with our seating, right? Because my wife's like, oh, the leather, I'm too cold. And then I'm like, I'm too hot. And so I think this will help address, just the creature comfort kind of piece of a movie viewing experience. So that's really cool. Awesome. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to comment, exactly to yours. It creates more of a dual climate zone. I myself run hot. My wife is a little bit cooler. So it just gives that, adjustable temperature kind of range for all the different people who are going to be sitting in the room and whatnot. Just, again, creates a better overall experience in the home theater.
That's awesome. All right. Now, we've covered video. We've covered the seating. We've covered the projection. Now, the sound. And these speakers and this power brought to us by NextLevel Acoustics and SpeakerPower. First, let's talk about the speaker complement. So Rob or whoever, Lee, which one of you guys wants to talk us through? I mean, the owner, the co-owner.
No, I changed it. It.
Oh, you fixed. Okay, I can't make
Rob,
that
you
joke.
see that? I figured it out.
Right on.
Giles, if I could jump in for a second.
Yeah.
The NextLevel guys really need to talk about, their company, who they are, what they do. I helped these guys launch their cinema series a couple of years ago, and they're such phenomenal performers. The reviews that we got across all the home theater publications were that they couldn't believe that the level that these cinema series perform at. But a lot of people may not know about NextLevel Acoustics, that they're a company in New England, that they're making the loudspeakers in New England. They're using premium components. These guys are making such high quality speakers. So I wish they could just talk about, that for a minute or two before they tell us about the speakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lee, why don't you take that part and then I can talk about the speakers.
There we go. Yeah, so we came out 2022 with the cinema series. Paul helped launch it at Cedia 2022. But everything's handmade in Connecticut, using all premium components. One of the best things about it is similar to what Chris was saying before. We're the type of company you call, Rob or I are going to answer. We help you design systems. We love to work with the clients. We really love kind of the grassroots hand-on approach. We started this company because we were both home theater fanatics. We love it. It was just a passion thing. We didn't really think we'd get to this level. Oh, I held back on that NextLevel joke.
I was waiting for the punchline.
Yeah, I held back.
We get to the next level, but
Yeah, so we just love what we do. We have such a blast doing it. We know we make quality products. We know they sound great. And what we decided to do was we wanted to, everybody's been talking about price range here. We're going to be next to a room that's $1 million room, and we really feel like we're going to compete. We're going to be able to sit there and go toe to toe with these guys. We think our stuff sounds great. It's an incredible value, and we're just having a blast doing it.
Awesome. Cool. So with that, we'll move to Rob. And Rob, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what's going to be in the room specifically. And sure. We're going to get to see the center channel here too. Is that true?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So speaker on your lap. You love them that much.
He's cuddling it.
No. So what we have is a 9.1.6, but it's going to be before subwoofer. So let's talk about the cinema series. So back in 2022, we launched the cinema series. It was our cinema 8s, so dual 8s with a horn. Since then, we've refined it even more, and now we're going to be showing, in addition to cinema 8s, our flagship Cinema Pro. And the difference between the Cinema 8s and Cinema Pro is the Cinema Pro has dual 8s, dual 6.5s with a 4x4 compression. Now, the beauty of these speakers, because everyone asks, well, what makes your speaker, different from other people's speakers? This is why these speakers are so impressive. Think about if you're able to get the cinematic impact and power handling of a horn with the finesse and subtleties of a silk dome tweeter. And that just blows everyone's mind. That in 1 second, it's doing these massive explosions hitting like 122 dB, right? I mean, we're, just reference level, super clean, but yet then you can play music and it's able to do Norah Jones. It's able to reproduce Lady Gaga with no distortion, silky smooth, and that is the secret sauce behind these speakers and why they're so impressive. in addition to their power handling, you're not driving like a big SUV into your room and have these massive speakers, right? You don't have to build these massive shelves like behind your screen. These are compact, small form factors, okay? And they're super efficient. The Cinema 8s are 95 dB efficient, and the Cinema Pros are 96 dB efficient. So these things are able to just drive and drive and drive for days in terms of power handling with zero distortion as you go kind of up the chain in terms of like overall volume levels. And that's what's so great about these is not only the form factor, but how versatile they are. So they're only about 6 inches deep. So normally these are for 2x6 construction, and we give you tons of options. You can do them as in walls, you can do them as on walls, but we've also come out with a partial in wall. So what that allows it to do is it's most of the speaker sits inside the wall. You only see 1.5 inches on the wall, okay? And then when you put the grill, it just looks like an acoustic panel. So now you're able to get a full horn system into 2x4 construction. And because it's only 1.5 inches deep, as long as you can move your projection screen out 2 inches, now you can put these behind acoustically transparent. So it's just a super versatile line. And then if we move on to the subs, we're showing 4 high velocity 15 subs. So these are proprietary to NextLevel Acoustics. The one thing I can say about these subs is that if you've never heard a high velocity sub, you really need to check these out because it's completely unique. These things will easily hit down to about 16, 17 hertz clean, zero distortion. But the big benefit of these subs is how fast they are. They are extremely fast. They hit super hard, and then they're completely out with absolutely no bass linger and like minute distortion. I mean, we're talking extremely low levels here. So they're extremely fast. And then for the Atmos speakers, we're modifying our IC44A. So those are generally in ceiling models, but because this is Cedia and we really don't have something that we can put inside the ceiling, we're actually modifying these as on ceilings, but we're showing a low profile. So they're only 3 inches deep using nice. 4.5, but they can handle 300 watts. So it's almost like a little ceiling tile. It's super impressive. It's for applications where you don't want to go in ceiling, but you're not looking for a massive profile. So that's really the entire system. It's really based upon this horn-based system that kind of goes double duty. You're not going to get the tinniness, right? You're not going to get the fatigue. You're going to have impact for days, okay? But you're going to have properties of a silk dome tweeter built into that experience.
Right on. So is it going to be 9 of the Cinema Pro units all the way around?
No, so
3 of the Cinema Pros and then
that
Cinema
might
8?
be a little, yeah. So it's going to be 3 Cinema Pros. So the left and right are going to be towed in. The center channel will be at the proper height below the screen, and then we're going to have Cinema 8s. So 2 pairs for the sides, a pair of Cinema 8s in the rears, and then 4 high velocity 15s at quarter points throughout the room, and then 6 IC44A modified Atmos speakers to make sure that we get proper coverage for all the rows.
Okay, got it. All right, this is going to lead us to Rigo because we got all these speakers, and I'm really curious about what you're going to do for amplification there. And so Rigo, let us know: are you going to be are the subs going to be off-board powered by your amps as well? And then how are you going to handle all these other different channels? What's the complement of gear look like from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have worked with NextLevel in the past with these high velocity 15s, so they do get plate amplifiers and standalone units from us for their high velocity 15s and other subs they have. So they've used us before, which is why they reached out to us to kind of help provide initially it was just going to be the sub amplification, but then I let Rob know he didn't know we were coming out with the 8-channel amplifier, so I let him know that, hey, we got this coming out as well. So we're well known in the subwoofer because we provide high output current which means that in bass notes and explosions, you need that current to sustain those frequencies at reference levels. So that's what we're known for, and we're essentially doing the same 700 watt that NextLevel currently uses with their amps in the plate version. We put that in 4 of those in a chassis to do the waveforming to power those high velocity 15s. So on top of that, we're also providing 8-channel amplifier, which is 400 watts at 4 ohms, 8 channels. But the beauty of it is it's a 2 RU chassis, so it's very small profile. And the idea there, keeping with the affordability, is a lot of people don't have, the ability to have a rack, or maybe they don't have a fully dedicated home theater. So this can easily fit in your console. It can fit, on top of your entertainment center, whatever the case is. That's the idea of it. And the other thing is, all the channels have XLR and RCA. So
good.
Whether you have, a more basic, not basic because they're still kind of expensive, right? With RCA outs, you could just run RCA to RCA. You don't have to worry about buying adapters or anything like that. But if you have an altitude 32, then you can use all XLR. And we're even thinking about coming out with something with a DB 25 connector, so that is just one cable, from the processor to the amp. And then we have binding post on the back, just to keep it simple.
So you're not using speak-on out, that you actually have binding posts for. Okay.
Yeah, so we're using binding posts, but the binding post I chose for this design is personally, when I connect, when I have to use bare wire, I hate that the binding posts don't come all the way out. So on these, you're able to completely unscrew them and put in the wire.
Oh, so you can take it all the way off, put the wire, and then put it back on again?
Yeah, exactly. Like a nut, like a thumb nut.
Right. No, that's super cool.
Thing. And then we also have a 12-volt trigger on it, so it allows you to kind of just seamlessly integrate with the whole system. So, when you're not using it, it's not on, and when you power on your whole system, it will just power on via the 12-volt trigger. The other cool thing we did was we made the LED light be able to turn on and off.
Right, it's defeatable. Okay.
Yeah, because especially when people have this like in their living room or something, they don't want to see the light, right?
Yeah, because they're looking right at it, because it's right
under
the screen. Yeah.
Because really, the light only helps when you're setting it up, right? Once you know it works and the 12-volt trigger is working, it's like, okay, I don't need the light anymore. So that's kind of the beauty of it. But so we made it very clean front, so that it looks nice in your entertainment system or in a rack. So and that 8-channel is going to be powering the left, center, right, as well as the surrounds. And then we're using another 8-channel for the Atmos as well. So it's 2 8-channel amplifiers and a 4-channel high current amplification, which is 700 watts into 4 ohms. That'll be driving the high velocity 15s. And so basically that's 19 channels or 20 channels of amplification. We're only using 19, but it's in 6 RU. So it's very compact, and there's no fans.
See, that's the next question. So this has got to be a Class D application.
Exactly.
Okay. And zero fan noise, because there are no fans.
Exactly. So we decided to make the chassis all aluminum and thick aluminum, so it acts as a heat sink, so you don't have the need for fans. We didn't want to put any vents or anything on it, just because through our testing, the chassis stay relatively cool. And on top of that, they're able to dissipate the heat from the internally to the outside, versus if you're using something like steel that has a lower heat capacity. So again, it's a 6 RU, very compact. Even if you were to do, most of the 8 channels out there are usually like 3 or 4 RU. So 2 of those, that's already 8 RU that you're using in a rack. So it's very compact, very, very efficient as well.
That's awesome. Very cool. All right.
Now, John, these are the first time that SpeakerPOWER is showing these.
That's what I was going to ask next.
At a Cedia Expo.
This is world premiere?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a world premiere. And when I was working on the press release for this demo, and I got to know Rigo and learned about these amps, I was blown away with the pricing on these amps. And then he's even sweetening the pot for folks at the show. Do you just want to comment on that, Rigo?
Yeah, so they're going to retail. The 8 channels are going to retail for $2,000, which is already beating a lot of stuff that's out there. That's in a bigger chassis, right? So through the design, we're able to minimize the chassis, make it so that we could build it in an efficient way to be able to hit the price point that we're trying to hit, which was $2,000 MSRP. But what we're trying to do is get some excitement around the products, and being that this is our first time kind of launching a full range product aside from our subwoofer line, is to do a launch price of $14.99. And that also goes for the 4-channel 700-watt amplifier, which it's going to retail for $15, and we're going to do a launch price of $11.99. So it's very, very great deal for people.
That's a super deal. A 4-channel subwoofer amp for $1,200.
Yeah,
that's crazy. These are the paragons of home cinema. Maybe the value leader too. Wow.
And another thing I would like to point out too is like you get world-class performance, great build quality. But I think the thing that's overlooked a lot of times when you're buying inexpensive things, right, which this may seem inexpensive to some people, is the customer service, right? A lot of that kind of gets overlooked. And when you have a problem, what happens? How long does it take to get, your stuff serviced and get back to your house? And we pride ourselves in that on being, active and replying to customers and, paying attention to things that customers are saying about our products to improve them. So just last night, I was helping a customer out when he just bought a new TV and he had a hum, and I spent literally 30 minutes on the phone with him at like 8 o'clock at night, just kind of walking him through why he should try what I'm telling him to try. And he was super ecstatic that he could get his problem solved. That's not always the case. It just so happens I was available and I could help him out. So I did, because there's nothing worse than you trying to troubleshoot something or trying to fix something to get your system going. And, you're kind of stuck for a day or two waiting for a response from the manufacturer.
But also, Rigo, it's assembled in the United States. I don't know if you said that or not, but that's
exactly
another value hit here. For customer service.
Hey, Chris, I was about to say the same thing. A lot of products in this booth are assembled, made in the U.S., right?
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
stuff in Iowa, our stuff in Connecticut. Rigo, you're doing that in California. Jim, Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's something to kind of talk about as well. It's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
And Chuck's products assembled in France, but I mean the difference is that these aren't products that are just stacked up on shelves that they just pull off and throw out to people and just fill the white vans kind of type response. This Brady Bunch square of 9 people here. I don't know. Does that make me the Marsha? I'm not Marsha.
Alice?
No, you're
I'm Alice.
You're Alice.
Alice in the middle.
I can see the resemblance.
Which ironically, I'm probably actually older than her in the series at the time, but.
I doubt it.
This Brady Bunch, this is what we're representing. Those is not just the value and performance, but we're all enthusiasts. This is all stuff that we're making for these applications specifically, in some kind of a build to spec type of situation. So.
That's cool. Now, one thing I want to call out, we're getting close to time here, is in addition to, I guess, the core 7, right? The magnificent 7 that we have here with us. There are also a number of other contributors that I want to acknowledge, right? And then Paul, help me a little bit here. But so we've got AV Partners that are going to help with video calibration, right?
Yeah, AV Partners is Eric Light. He is a very well-known, very prolific, I'll say, Cedia. He's a sales rep company in our home theater channel in the Southern California market, and he also specializes in audio and video calibration. So Eric will be doing the video calibration in Sound Room 11.
Okay, and then we have Bespoke Cinemas, and my note says they're doing audio room equalization. I'm not sure what that means, though.
That's Adam Pells is going to be doing the audio calibration.
Right.
Okay, I got you. So he's going to be working with the Trinnov gear to do the
right.
room setup. Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm following.
Yeah, and the waveforming calibration.
Right on. Very cool. Very cool. It's tracking with me now. And then for a source, you'll have Kaleidoscape.
Right.
And do you know what model is it going to be? The Strato V or their new?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Tributaries are going to be doing the cabling.
Mm-hmm.
Then Home Theater Gurus, they did the acoustic design of the room. So
That's
all
right.
the speaker goes here kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kinetics noise control will be doing acoustic treatments for the room. And then last, I cut it off on my notes. We have Thrill Cat Cinema Lab, and I don't have a note of what they are doing, and I'm completely unfamiliar with that brand.
That is Travis Ballstadt, who's got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Who is really a very passionate home theater enthusiast, and he runs in our circle, and he's very gifted in understanding home theater technology. He's been a friend to Chris Seymour for many years. Chris could perhaps talk further to that, time permitting. He's very close with the NextLevel Acoustics guys. As a matter of fact, he's got their gear in his reference theater in addition to the Seymour-Screen Excellence. And he's been a part of this home theater circle, and he's expanding, with his reach. He does great video work.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited to. Will he be at the show by any chance?
Yes, he will.
Awesome.
He's
Good.
doing our intro video, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
And
Well, I look
Giles,
forward to saying hi.
It's almost like a shadow partner, because there's somebody that's not going to be helping in this room, and that's going to be an automation system, because the Lumagen Radiance Pro, the 5244, is going to be controlling our screen directly using their auto masking capabilities. So it's kind of, it's another functionality that we're not
Right.
able to bring in another partner for. So that's just saves money and adds value.
Yeah, and it's all included in the low price, right?
That's
Low.
right.
That's super cool. All right. Well, we are at time. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. I mean, it's always a pleasure to have you here with me and with all the viewers to talk about all these cool toys that people get to experience. And Paul, tell everybody where they can find this stuff at Cedia when they want to see this and experience this room. Where do they go?
Well, it's Sound Room 11, and the cinema marquee reads Paragons of Home Cinema.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, everybody out there, Cedia coming up in September. Mark your calendars, get your tickets. If you have any questions about how to get access into the show, hit me up and we can figure it out. If you're going to be in the Denver area, I can make sure that you can get into the show so you can go experience this amazing sound room. Everybody out there, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Giles.
All right, and
Thanks
then
for
for
having
all the
us.
viewers out there, your time is precious. Thanks for spending it with us. And as always, I'll see you next week in the next video.
Ciao.